So that it represents someone who says, I'm not willing to stay in a place where it's stagnant, and anything that is not like now. You look at the leaves, they are very dry. Winter is time to burn out the old so that the new can grow. So the songs, they actually represent that, but they represent the symbol that God is a consuming fire. These two songs actually represent that. It's a people or person who don't want to remain cold. The Bible says, decide, are you cold or hot? You can't be in the middle. So I always say, some people prefer to be hot burning. I would also choose to be what? To be cold. Because sometimes you need that, in life. Sometimes it helps you to remain steady when you are in the cold. But these songs, they represent that. That's why Shisa Mlilo, and which is Mulabo wa Bophelo, Mollo, Umlilo, which is the royal flame of God. We also know God being the fire. The Bible says that Umlilo kaJehova uyashisa emathambeni. He's a consuming fire. He's like fire in my bones. Mollo wa Modimo umasapong umarapong. So this song, I said, I wrote it sometime last year. It was a whole, actually Toba, Still Storm, this one, Royal Flame, and Imfuyo Yezizwe. They came in the same season, So Royal Flame, actually, I wrote, as I always write most of the time in Zulu, Swahili, in English, and Sesotho, and it's as if I knew. For me, it was easier to say Sotho than French. Sometimes I will try it because it's still difficult to learn French, but I'm getting there because as I always listen to the French music, and learning the language itself. So this song, actually, it represents that, the fire of God. God is a consuming fire. We know of how fire would come down from heaven. He is a consuming fire. So which means he burns. He God's wrath. The Bible says he's got wrath. His wrath is like smoke out of his nostrils. We see that symbol a lot in the Bible. We also know of Elijah, who actually, he showed which God is a consuming fire. He said, put on water on your and he even laughed at them. He says, where's your God? And the Bible says they started cutting themselves, and he just spoke one word, and fire came down from heaven and consumed what was on the ground. So this is a representation of that, which umlilo qothulayo is wakotulla, so it represents that, to say, may the fire of God burn. My favorite verse is Hotetsa molomo rena ka ho nna, let the fire of God burn towards me, because in that I am able to conquer what the enemy brings towards me. I can overcome, knowing that God will burn anything that is not of him, that is not like him, and he will consume it into ashes, and out of the ashes definitely we rise like phoenixes, as the saying goes. All right, so that is, I hope when everyone listens to that, they can get that while they are dancing. They get the message that you have been clothed with the fire like gold. You went through it. So whatever situations that you've gone through, you come out purified and stronger and shinier.